Hey guys, my name is Emma and today I have my top 8 of 2018 for Prettiest Covers. Now I know the saying goes that you should never judge a book by its cover, but let's be honest, we all do it, and there are some really gorgeous covers out there at the moment. So I thought I'd round up some of the prettiest and shiniest ones of my collection. There's probably about a 50-50 split between ones that I really enjoyed and ones that I wasn't bothered by, and there is definitely an overabundance of the word "the" starting most of the books that I read this year. There is definitely a gold gilt theme to a lot of the books that I like. I did realise that my initial first picking had literally all gold, and then I was like, come on Emma, let's vary this up a little bit. But to start off our gold theme, we have The Tiger and the Wolf by Adrienne Tchaikovsky. Now the tiger on this is gold, as you can see, and it's really, if I zoom in so that you can see it for you, it's got the absolute gorgeous kind of tribal inspired thing there and the really lovely font. It was an alright series looking at shapeshifters. There was a lot of exposition and world building that wasn't built in properly, and I really didn't care about all of the characters, and the one character that I did really care about does indeed die at the end of this book, meaning that book 2 and 3, as far as I'm concerned, can go suck it because I'm not interested. But beautiful colour, cannot deny that. Another one that was a little bit meh to read but beautiful to look at is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. Again, we've got some gold gilting. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit more subtle, it's just kind of worked through. In fact, no, tell a lie, it's green. An idiot, can't tell colours apart. So there's some green touches to this. If I get a little bit closer, you can see that shiny sparkle there on the Serpent, as well as this lovely, like, beautiful flower design here. I think that this is gorgeous. Again, it was an alright book. It's a historical fiction which looks at the intersection between science and religion between two different characters, and there is a mythical serpent creature wreaking havoc down in Essex which brings the two together. I wasn't hugely enamoured. I got to the end of the book and thought, oh, what was the point in that, to be honest? But I do think it was very well written, and I have not ruled out Sarah Perry in the future. And it's pretty. Then we have my shiniest one of the lot, and that is The Bedlam Stacks by Natasha Pulley. My particular edition is entirely just shiny and has the beautiful sprayed edges of the blue. I know you can get other editions which has this more flipped, so the blue is more predominantly the colour on the cover and the gold is just the edging. But I'm part magpie, so this is just irresistible to me. Like, it's just beautiful. Another one that I wasn't overly enamoured with, it's again a historical fiction with a slight magical element, but not quite, and it is set predominantly in Peru, and it follows an explorer who is looking for quinine, which is a treatment for, I think, malaria, if I remember correctly, and in doing so stumbles across a different kind of race of people, shall we say. Let's probably leave it at that because I don't want to spoil anything. It was good fun, but I personally wanted more from the magical side of things and less from the build up to it, and it felt both slow to begin with, and then once we got to about 3/4 of the way through, the ending felt very rushed, and that was where I really wanted to spend more time. But wonderful, wonderful writing style. Then we get another one which was a little bit meh. Jesus, I do have some ones that I enjoyed on this, I promise. I'm just apparently going for the meh books first. But that is The Singer's Gun by Emily St. John Mandel. And I'm actually lumping in with this basically any of the Emily St. John Mandel that have this particular look. I've got Station 11 and Last Night in Montreal up there somewhere. And basically it's this white cover with a single colour title, the silhouette creature of some sort. I personally love this. I think it's so simple and elegant and clean, and I think it is a real nice juxtaposition between the kind of this look and those very garish gold ones above me. So I thought that this was beautiful, and I really do like the entire collection, and I like it when they give an author a look as well, because it feels like when you collect their work that it makes sense when you see them on your bookshelves. The last one I have physically on me is one that I don't think many people have heard of. It's Smoke by Dan Yvlet, I think is how you pronounce that. Irritatingly, my rabbits got to this one and they have taken a little chunk out of my hardcover, which has slightly ruined it, but I still think it's pretty. Again, playing off that simplistic vibe, but this time with the black. Got this beautiful S shape with the smoke. Now this is actually a really fun book, and one I would totally recommend if you like slightly dystopian futures, speculative fiction type thing. And this is a world where when you sin, your body smokes. So people do things like the upper class will wear white shirts to show how pure and clean they are, and London is like covered in a smog because it's the centre of sin rather than like for pollution. And it's a little bit of a look at where this comes from. Now the main plot of this does hinge on misconception, which was quite irritating because it's, I think, one of the weakest plot devices you can go for, but I loved the world and I thought all of the characters were fairly strong and I thought it was really interesting. So I kind of wanted a bit more from the world building, but it's very cool. One book that you will have heard me talk about already because it was featured in my top 8 standalone books is The Bees by Leilani Poole. Cover hopefully here. This is a wonderful book that is literally telling the story of a bee. It is Flora 572 or something like that, and basically it is her journey through the hive, the different roles that she takes on. There have been links and allegories made to things like Margaret Atwood's A Handmaid's Tale and commentary on the reproductive women but told through the eyes of a bee. Personally, I think you get more out of this book if you ignore all of that and literally just read it to learn about the life of a bee, because I think that it's so immersive and beautiful and fascinating. And we were going through like on flights through fields to try and find pollen for the hive, and I was so on board with all of it. So I think it's a wonderful book and totally worth checking out. Also, all of the covers are gorgeous, not just this one, there are a few other ones. I'll maybe pop them around, and I think they are all absolutely beautiful. Then another one that you'll have heard me talk about before is The Themis Files by Sylvain Nouveau, if I remember correctly. This is a trilogy, and I think that the 2 different editions are gorgeous. You've got the Faces Through the Stars, and then you've got the more symbol based ones, and I really like them from both the kind of more avant-garde and extravagant covers and also the real simplistic, just the basic symbol that I thought was absolutely wonderful. Fantastic story. It is about a scientist who finds a giant metal hand buried under the earth, and it turns out to be part of a larger structure that was left behind to us by aliens, and then it pretty much proceeds from there. It's awesome if you're into science or linguistics or military, and I just think that it runs through so much information but so many brilliant characters, and at no point does it feel really like information dump heavy, and it really just works wonderfully. The final book I want to talk about is the Wayfarer series. And am I technically cheating with including series? I don't know, let me have it, yeah? I think all 3 are beautiful. Again, I will scatter them around me here. I personally prefer book 2 the most. It is a deep sci-fi space adventure, the entire series set in a world where humans have left the earth and they've come across all these different alien races, but it's far down that history where we've already been integrated, and it's now just following a bunch of different characters. Each book is a standalone in its own right, just set in the same world with little nods to previous characters and previous events in there, but you could start wherever you wanted. I personally like book 2 the most, as you will know if you have watched any of my previous top 8 videos. So that's it from me. Those are my top covers of 2018's books, or rather the books that I personally read in 2018. I think it's been a wonderful reading year. I think this is the last one of my top 8 for 2018 videos going up. I did a run of a week, so this should be the final one. So there you have it, all my tops, and now we can get real cracking onto what my plans are for 2019. Have a wonderful reading week. I hope that you enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz, and I will chat to you soon. Bye guys!